Welcome back to Sunrise. It's now time for Law and Order JA with senior attorney and CEO of PD Law, Priscilla Duhaney, who is also an experienced realtor, mediator, lecturer, and child advocate. She is the co-founder of Child Watch Legal and affiliate to Hear the Children's Cry. Welcome to Sunrise. Priscilla, welcome back.
Morning.
Priscilla,
good
how
to
are
see
you
you
doing?
again.
Thank you very much.
All right. So today our question is, my name is Sarah, and my daughter has special needs, which has led her to be legally disabled. I was told she wouldn't be able to have access to education in the regular school system. Is this so? First of all, what is the legal threshold that someone has to reach, or what that needs to be established in order to define someone as disabled?
Well, the law speaks to the definition of what persons with disabilities may look like. So essentially it speaks to physical disability, it speaks to disability which are sensory or sensory disabilities and intellectual. So physical, of course, could be a loss of a limb, whether partially or wholly, as well as sensory and intellectually, emotionally. So there are wide ranges of disabilities that meets the threshold as someone requiring intervention. So if that is the case, and this, of course, is defined in the Disabilities Act of Jamaica 2014, you find that persons who are subject to these types of disabilities will be definitely needing of the government's intervention for school, for education to be provided to them.
And so within the context of the education system, someone now being defined as a special needs person, is there room for that within the legislation?
Definitely.
A special needs child, for instance.
Definitely. So the legislation, the overarching legislation or law, of course we know is a Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedom, which is the Constitution.
Yes.
It generally provides for protection and the rights of individuals that essentially needing protection of whatever sort and to be free from any form of discrimination. But of course we have the specific legislation, which is the Disabilities Act, which speaks to persons with disabilities. Section 26 of the Disabilities Act actually speaks so that no one should be denied, a child should not be denied of education with any form of special needs or any form of disability. So definitely they are the law provides for them to have access to education within the regular school system.
So we establish context.
So, but Priscilla, I have a question for you now. So that we've established that that is what the law says, that is what is in paper and in writing, which is very different now in the theory and practicum are very different, right? So in all practicality now, if it is that you'd like your child to have access to a specific education in a specific institution, if this institution is not fit for purpose, if there aren't teachers who are trained for purpose, my question is, do you really want to pursue this direction just on the basis that it is what is in the law versus what is in the best interest of the child?
Perfect. Good question, Yandy. And that is exactly the situation that we're facing.
Right.
So the regular school system, yes, the law provides or tries to enforce that there are certain mechanisms put in place to facilitate everyone, whether you have special needs or not. But in reality, there are certain types of disabilities, as we say, that may need even more intervention and certain facilities that will not be provided within the regular school system. So you may need to send your child to a special needs institution, which will be able to cater to your child's specific need.
I remember some years ago there was an issue. I'm not going to get into too many details of the situation. I'm going to use it as a platform, though. So, for instance, say, for argument's sake, I have a child who is in a wheelchair who says that they want to go to Spanish Town High School, and they've passed their PEP for Spanish Town High School. But the principal, for instance, of Spanish Town High says our plant is not facilitating of wheelchair students. I mean, we have tall blocks, and grade 7 is up there, for instance. And no matter how many ramps you put in, it's just not going to be facilitating. Can the principal, in this hypothetical case at Spanish Town High, say you cannot come to the school? Or can the principal only say we really suggest that you not? Because one is a recommendation and the other one is almost a prohibition. What does the law differentiate where that is concerned?
Well, definitely. We had a similar case like that with Merle Grove, I think last year it was, where a student who passed their PEP was placed at Merle Grove. However, because of certain circumstances, the school was not made aware, neither the Ministry of Education at the time, and there was no facility for that child, for ramps, etc. But what the Disabilities Act speaks to is that there must be arrangements or facilities to facilitate that student. So there's really no excuse at this point in time. Since the legislation and the regulations have been passed in 2022, there must be arrangements made for that child to be accepted. Otherwise, we are venturing down the lines of discrimination, which is against the Constitution.
So if my child passed for St. Diego High School, and because I went to St. Diego, God forbid, I went to St. Diego, and I want my child to go to St. Diego, and my child passed for St. Diego cannot deny my child going there because, and no matter how much the principal, say for instance, Keith Noel is there saying, you can't come, it don't make no sense.
No, the school does not have that.
You don't have to make arrangements for it.
You have to make arrangements to facilitate that child. And as we said before, the law now provides at the time 24 months, that period in which you can prepare. And of course, the ministry is still behind, or government is still behind, but phases, they are now putting in place where arrangements are made in various phases to facilitate children with various types of disabilities.
So if denied, you actually have legal grounds?
Definitely.
All
and
right.
you can take it to the necessary institutions or entities.
All right, well, there you have it.
Our guest was Priscilla Duhaney, Senior Attorney and CEO of PD Law. On the other side of the break, we move from laying down the law to celebrating with the Norman Manley Law School. More Sunrise on the other side of the break.